I gotta clean out my phone. Well, this video's not gonna be extra long anyway. But I was thinking this morning how I'm actually glad my car got wrecked, and I'll tell you why. Because I mean, when it first happened, I was like gutted because I had just been stuck. Man, 2023 was a screwed up year for me. So it started off with, I mean, the end of 2022, my YouTube blew up out of nowhere. It was shocking, didn't expect it, didn't know it was going to happen. I hadn't put up a video in months. I actually did, but I erased it like instantly. I got my hair up in a bun. Usually at night I sleep with my hair like this, but lately it's just too hot down here to be having hair all down and shit. You gotta have it up when it's this hot. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so ended 22, ended 2022. My truck's breaking down. I can't do Uber Eats no more. I'm on the verge of being totally homeless in Florida, which is where I don't want to be homeless. If my truck broke down and I had to be homeless again, I was hopping on a train and going back to New York. But God had another plan. So the next thing I know, my car's broken down in downtown Clearwater. I'm using it as like a house and I'm doing portraits. All of a sudden, my YouTube starts blowing up. All of a sudden, I can afford car insurance again and I can afford to get my car fixed. So I get, well, I couldn't really afford to get it fixed properly yet, but I could afford to get it rolling again. In other words, I could put coolant back in, I could get some power steering fluid. I had all these issues that I couldn't afford to do nothing about. But so my YouTube starts blowing up. I got a little bit of money. I get my car insurance back. I get my car rolling again. A couple months later, my engine, the head gasket goes, which I knew it was coming. And then I am stuck. I really couldn't afford to fix it. I had to borrow money off of my buddy. And he actually just gifted me like $1,000. I mean, my buddy, I don't want to say his name, but he just gave me like $1,000 to help fix my car. And so, I mean, if it happened now, I could afford to just fix it myself. I could afford it myself. But that mechanic, I needed a new block for the engine. And it was like a lot of money, the job. And I had to wait months for the block. But the mechanic was like, you can live in my parking lot till we get it. And I was like, okay, so that's what I did. I was stuck in that mechanic's parking lot. You could go back and watch the videos. I don't know. I must have been there for two 2 months or something. And then I get my car fixed. And I'm happy. I'm happy as a pig in shit. And so, I'm real happy. My car's running. I've got a job doing YouTube now. Life has been, at this point, life is going better for me than it has ever. My life is going great at this point. I'm riding down the road. I just got a really good Philly cheesesteak from this place, Delco's in Dunedin. They're from Philly. They do the Phillies right. I couldn't wait to go eat my Philly cheesesteak. I had also just gotten a bunch of herb in Clearwater, good herbs. So I'm about to go eat my sandwich and then chill and smoke in the park. I couldn't be happier. Riding down the road, some chick rams into the side of my car. I thought my car was fucking totaled. I thought it was done. You can watch my previous videos for details on all this, but she smashes into the side of me. I end up in the oncoming, almost in the oncoming traffic. I was in like the turn lane, and I thought it was bad because I couldn't move my car. I wanted to move my car out of the middle of the road. Couldn't do it. My car wasn't the front tire. Right when I tried to move it, the tire popped because it pushed back into the frame, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then a couple of cops show up like an hour later. The one dude cop, typical dumb. Anyways, it's not like he wasn't an issue. The chick cop was the issue. Anyways, so the cop's like, "Can you move your car?" I'm like, "Nah, I just tried. It ain't going." He's like, "I'll do it." He gets in. He's like, "Your transmission's gone." I'm like, "Are you serious?" he was dead wrong. There was nothing wrong with the transmission. The wheel was pressed back into the frame. It couldn't move. He's telling me the transmission's gone. So I, like a dummy, I'm like, oh shit, my transmission's gone. Anyways, I'm sitting here on the side of the road thinking my life is over. My house is my car. Just got completely fucking totaled. So I'm like, I'm like in a state of shock, to be honest. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. The cop gave me the ticket for the wreck. That was the other thing, which I was in such a state of shock. I was in such a state of disarray. I didn't even notice the damn cop gave me the ticket. Well, she didn't give it to me. When she watch my previous videos for the details, but my license was suspended over some bullshit and all this other shit. So she just handed me this envelope. And also in that envelope was a little hidden surprise. She gave me a ticket for that wreck. And it was not my fault. It was 1000% not my fault. Some 16-year-old girl rammed into the side of my car. So all this happens. I'm stuck at my buddy's house up in Tarpon. He's got all these kids and wife, and he's got this whole life going on. I'm sitting there in his living room hanging out with his kids, feeling like a burden, But he didn't care. But I don't like feeling like that. My buddy's working full time. His wife's doing her thing. She works too. And I'm in the living room hanging out with the kids. I like the kids, don't get me wrong. They crack me up. They're entertaining friggin' kids. But, I'm feeling like I'm his third kid over here. And so then all of a sudden, my brother calls me up telling me that his mechanic needs someone to help around the shop, and I can stay in this trailer behind the mechanic. So I'm like, well, okay, things are looking a little better. Oh, here comes one of my favorite people in Clearwater. This dude, Matt, fucking cracks me up. Just came rolling up on his bike. Um, but really, I'm thinking like, what did I do to deserve this? All of a sudden, and I get to this trailer, I get to the mechanics, and I realize it's not like a house trailer. It's like a cargo trailer that has been sitting in his yard back here, which is like a swamp. It's been this thing may well have been sitting in the middle of the Everglades, just complete mold, all moldy and filthy inside. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, how am I gonna live in this? Uh, what? Hold up. Oh, I thought he was talking to me. So I'm like, I see the trailer and I'm like, oh, this is fucked. I can't live like I have to, but this is terrible. And then another funny thing happens. As I'm cleaning out the trailer, I'm sweeping. There's like a 3 inches of dirt and dust and crap at the bottom of it. There's mold everywhere. This thing leaks, and in Florida it rains a lot in the summer. This thing's been sitting there for years, just getting tore up. But there was a couch back there, and I mean it was all like rotten and terrible. But because other, fringe elements of society have been living in that trailer over the years. Anyways, I'm kind of cleaning it out. I'm sweeping out all that dust and dirt and shit. And I'm going back and forth and getting my stuff. And then I go in there, and there's a black dude sitting in there. I'm like, yo, what is this? He's like, oh, I stay in here. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, this is where I live. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, the mechanic told me I could stay in here. He's like, oh, you told me I could stay in here. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, I was like, okay. So I just came out here and sat on the chair. And then the mechanic comes out. I'm like, yo, there's some dude saying he lives in the trailer. Rob's like, oh, just tell him to leave. I'm like, you tell him to leave. It's your. He's like, okay. He fucking goes and kicks the guy out. And he's like, no, I told Joey a week ago that he could stay. I told you yesterday you could stay. Well, now Joey's here and Joey's staying. I was like, all right. So I got the mechanic gave me the trailer, so I'm like, okay. So then I'm just living in there, not knowing what the hell to do with myself. My car's wrecked, and the mechanic is kind of being evasive when I'm asking him about fixing it. He's like, I can probably fix it. I'm like, well, I think the transmission's gone. He's like, the transmission's fine. He's like, the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, he's like, it's the fucking control arm and the strut are fucked. He's like, and the tire and the rim. He's like, I can fix that. I'm like, okay, well, fix it. He's like, I'll get around to it at some point. I'm like, okay. I think he wanted to have like someone to help around here. He was in no rush to fix it, and I was in no rush to get it fixed. I wanted to figure out with the insurance and go to court with this dim-witted cop who gave me this ticket and get that ticket dealt with. And so, I was in no rush to get it fixed. He was in no rush to fix it. And then this slick ass mechanic, he's like, well, you can start paying for it now. I'll probably end up charging you like 1,500, 2K, which I'm like, and he's like, and that includes the rent, and I'll run you an extension cord. You got power back there, and I'm like, okay. So then for the next year and a half, he's just hitting me up for money, not all the time, but you know, he ended up getting a lot. I'll put it to you this way: he ended up getting a lot more than 2 grand out of me, but whatever. He's pretty much left me alone 100%. Every once in a while, he needs some help doing some shit around here. To be totally honest, I'm happy to do work outside. I like the workout. I like the sun. I just never minded it. Do I got one of my fans running? It sounds like something's running back here. Or is that my shit? Oh, I'm gonna just let it run. I got one of my fans running. I didn't realize it. Anyways, so I'm helping around here. Not much, but some. And I end up becoming kind of friends with the mechanic. Anyways, now we all get evicted. Everyone's got to go. The place got sold out from. See, the mechanic didn't own it. He's just working. He just kind of he was renting here from this other guy, but that guy sold it out from under him. And now, next thing you know, we're all getting like evicted. I'm like, yo, we got to fix this car. He's like, yeah, I'll get to it. So for the next like 6, 8 months, I'm like, yo, what? He's like, I'll get to it. Don't worry. He's like, Joey, I'm not gonna leave you stranded without a car. Trust me when I tell you, I got a lot of shit going on. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? And I believe him. He ended up fixing it, of course, but I wanted to get the shit done so I could build it back out. Wait till y'all see. Wait till y'all see how I built it out. So I'm like, you know, it finally. So another thing that happened. Now the new owner's coming around, and this place had a bunch of code violations. You should have seen it. It was a straight dirty South mechanic shop, abandoned cars all over the place, 10,000 just useless tires sitting in the back, which would fill with water every time it rained and just breed mosquitoes. You never seen so many mosquitoes in your fucking life than here. If you sit still, there's mosquitoes on you. But we got rid of all the tires, so the mosquito situation got a lot better. But this whole time I've been here, I've been getting assaulted by mosquitoes to the point where I had to figure out methods to combat them. So I figured out you get this, it's called Pure Citrus. It's an air freshener, but it's citric acid. And it's basically like bug spray, except it's all natural. Now, it's not meant to do that. It's meant to be an air freshener, but I realized that I heard mosquitoes hate citrus. So I'm in the grocery store looking for some sort of citrus weapon to use against the mosquitoes, and I see the Pure Citrus. I'm like, let me give it a shot. I get back to the trailer with the Pure Citrus. The mosquitoes are all over me. I spray, and I'm watching them all just fall out of the sky. The shit just eats them. And so that's been my weapon, my main weapon against the mosquitoes. As soon as they come around me, I spray that shit up. Either they get caught in the cloud and they die, or they fly away. They don't want nothing to do with it. So that's one of the upsides to this whole situation. I've learned how to battle mosquitoes. You could put me in the middle of the Everglades, and the mosquitoes ain't gonna be an issue as long as I got my Pure Citrus with me. So, anyways, another thing that happened. Now, we there's a bunch of code violations. My trailer that I'm living in happened to be one of the code violations. And there was another trailer with three other Florida lunatics staying in it. That's, to be honest, I'm gonna miss all the characters around here. We got the neighbors over here with the barbecue lady and the roof people and all these transient auto mechanics that are in and out of here staying in trailers, and I'm gonna miss all these characters when I leave here, to be honest. And the mechanic himself is a fucking cartoon character too. So that first trailer had to go, and all those transients had to go, except for one. Scotty stayed in the garage. And then, so that first trailer, that one really had to go because that one was on wheels and it was like totally illegal to have it and this and that. I don't know. So they get rid of that. And then a couple months later, Scott, or the mechanic, is like, Joey, that trailer is going to have to go July 15th, so I got to fix your car by then. Come July 15th, that fucking car was not fixed. He did some of it, but not all of it. Not enough for me to move into it. And I'm like, you just fucked me on this, you know? And he's like, my bad. Anyways, the trailer had to go, and I had to go stay in the garage. At that point, Scott had abandoned this place, but Scott's back now. So I had my own little section of the garage to stay in, but I didn't want to stay in no damn garage, you know what I mean? It was filthy. It's, you know, you walk around with your shoes off, and oh, this chick's hot. Uh, you walk around with your shoes off, and you got like oil and all kind of. She looks pretty good. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. She stopped right there and started stretching and shit. A little show off. I like that shit though. Anyways, so I love pretty girls, man. Anyways, so it, um, especially like, you know, they do little slick shit like that, like stop when they know you're checking them out, they'll start stretching and looking all cute and shit. Anyway, so I'm staying in the fucking garage, and you know it's filthy. You take your shoes off, you walk around. I don't like having my shoes on. If I'm chilling, I don't want no damn shoes and socks and shit on. I want my bare feet. You know what I mean? So my feet were always like black from being in this garage and walking around on oil and shit, and there's fucking roaches in the garage and all kinds of shit. Oh, that's nothing. The trailer I was staying in, back in the swamp part of this shop, if I got up at night to take a piss or something, sometimes I'd turn on the light and have a cigarette. When I would turn on that light, there'd be a fucking tarantula on the floor over here hunting down fucking roaches and shit. There'd be geckos on the walls, fucking wasps flying around. At night, that place would come alive. While I was sleeping, all the wildlife would be in there doing its thing. You could probably film an animal documentary in there with all the wildlife. There was the whole food chain going on in there. The geckos, I loved them because they would eat all the fucking roaches and shit. And the big ass tarantula that was living in there, I never fucked with him because he was helping keep the place clean. Believe it or not, you know, the roaches. I've devised a system to catch roaches and get rid of them. I try not to kill anything. I'm like Buddhist type. Um, I try to live. I try to live in harmony and not kill things. So even cockroaches, I'd rather catch them and get rid of them. But so anyways, oh, and that fucking tarantula. Once we had to move the trailer out of there, the tarantula had to go too. So we've been having tarantula sightings around here ever since that trailer went. There was this big pile of debris that we had to get rid of. So every once in a while, someone would grab someone and be like, "Oh shit, there's a fucking tarantula," and we'd all go over there and look at it. And I'd be like, that's my old fucking roommate. And as we're clearing all this shit out of here, the area is getting smaller and smaller every couple of days. The tarantula, someone would have a run-in with him. And just yesterday, this fucking tarantula must be 20 years old by now. And it's not like a tarantula, it's just a big wolf spider about the size of my hand. I'm not kidding you, it's fucking huge. And this thing will look at you. It's, it's not no dumb insect. It'll sit there looking at you and shit. A wasp in here, man. Get your. Oh, that's a dragonfly. That's cool. That's fine. What's up, bro? He just landed on me. Um, he's just chilling. He can sit there and chill. Y'all want to see him? Man, I hate to. Um. Oh, he's gone now anyway. So, no, he's still floating around in here. So the fucking tarantula. Then yesterday we're moving all these tires out, and the fucking tarantula made one final appearance. There's nowhere else for him to go. He's gonna have to head off into the swamp back there, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully the tarantula will be all right. I ain't never had no issue with him. He left me alone. I left him alone, and he was helping keep the trailer clean. So, anyways, what happens was one day I'm just working on my truck, doing a little bit of building on the interior, and the mechanic, or no, he comes back to the show. He's like, Joey, the trailer's got to go by 2 o'clock today. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to fix the fucking car. He's like, I fucked up, like it, but he's like, can you move in your car now? I'm like, no, because I can't move all my shit in there and build it at the same time. He's like, all right, go. I got this spot in the garage cleaned out. Go stay in there just for a couple of days, and then I'll fix the car. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm like, all right, fuck. He's like, well, they might not come today, so we'll see. But you should start moving your stuff in there. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm like, I'm going to build out my car. So I'm working on my car. A couple hours later, the mechanic's like, Joey, did you move your shit in the garage? I'm like, no. He's like, they're coming in like 2 hours. I'm like, no, he's like, they're coming in like fucking 20 minutes to pick up the trailer. I'm like, fuck. And so I move all my shit out of the truck in like 20 minutes. I've got to get everything I own out of there. Now, I don't own a lot, but I do own a lot of little detail specific things. You know what I mean? Like all my tools and all kind. I don't own much, but I own quality things that I don't want to lose. So I'm in this frantic rush. These two Mexicans show up to pick up the trailer, and they're in there. There was other people had all their shit in the trailer too, and so everyone's just throwing shit out the trailer, and I'm like, everyone stay out of this section. This is where my shit is. Let me move it. So I'm moving all my shit out the trailer. I got all these people in the way. It was the most hectic, frantic fucking 20 minutes of my life. I move all my shit just outside just so they can get the trailer out. It was so frantic and hectic. It was fucked up. And so I get all my shit out. The only thing that got lost in this tidal wave of insanity was my propane hose from my propane oven, which I'll just have to buy another one for like $20 off of Amazon or something. But shockingly, that's the only thing I lost. I got everything else that matters, which surprised me because I was like, I'm gonna lose half my shit in this situation. But I only lost my propane hose and another little adapter plug thing. But all in all, my losses were minimal from that situation. So then I'm stuck in that garage. Mechanics tell me, Joey, 3 days, 7 days tops, I'll get your car fixed. 3 weeks later, I'm still in the garage and my patients are gone. I think I got coronavirus or something. I was sick too. Um, and so, here's the thing. One of the guys that was working on my car, Lorenzo, kept buying the wrong fucking parts. He kept buying parts for a 2003 CRV, which they'll work on this car, but they won't work exactly right. Plus, I've got the CRV that was built in England, not the one that was built in Japan. It's slightly different. And I've got the special edition, which is the highest level trim. It's got some very specific. You got to get the right parts for the 2005 Honda CRV special edition. But he kept getting parts for a fucking 2003 because under the hood, apparently, it says my car's a 2003 because it was probably totaled 10 years before I bought it or something. So he's going off of that. As it turns out, that ain't right. It's 2005. which if you would have looked on the inside of the door, you would have seen that. Anyways, so Lorenzo keeps buying the wrong parts and this and that. I'm like, fuck all this. I'm like, tell me what parts we need. I'll get them. And so that's what I did. Instead of Lorenzo getting the parts, I just got them all off of Amazon. And let me tell you something, I was getting them real cheap. Amazon is really good for getting car parts. Very, the exact parts you need, anyways. So I get all the parts. Now, the point of this video was why I'm used. So I guess this video ended up being the story of why I gave y'all the details of the whole situation. Like I said, I was gonna in an upcoming video. I just didn't think it was gonna be this one. But so I was thinking this morning how. So, anyways, I end up getting the parts, and then finally the mechanic and this other dude, Dave, who's from New York, who appeared and started living here pretty recently. Dave helped out a lot too and got my car going. So between Dave and Rob and me, we got everything pretty much fixed. The only thing left is the AC, and sooner or later the mechanic will do it. And if not, it's not the end of the world. I already got the compressor. I'll have to pay someone else to do it, but I believe the mechanic will do it. But so, and here we are. Now, why am I glad this all happened? Now, first of all, it made me appreciate having a car to live in because now you got to realize when I was living in my car, I wasn't I was living as if I was renting an apartment in Clearwater, Tampa, St. Pete, Palm Harbor area because I had to do Uber to make a living. So I was just living, I was staying around here, mostly in Oldsmar and Palm Harbor, if you know the area. That's where I was staying at. Um, and I was doing Uber Eats around this really expensive area over there because they tip better over there. I was doing Uber Eats around Safety Harbor and Countryside too. Anyways, so I was living in my car, but it was kind of like just living in an apartment. I wasn't traveling around, and I realized once I got here, I'm like, man, I could have been traveling around this whole country. So I wasn't even taking advantage of living in a car, but I really couldn't because I had to work full time with Uber Eats. But another thing was, now, another upside to this whole thing is being stationary in one place. I've learned how to buy things off Amazon, which is something I would only do very occasionally before because I had to get it delivered to my brother's house, and my brother, but you can't come till after I'm working at 5. He works from his house, but he can't just leave it out for me to pick it up. I've got to wait till he's done working. Like, my brother's just a pain in the ass to deal with. So I was hardly ever ordering anything on Amazon. But now being here, and I've been ordering stuff on Amazon left and right, I mean, and I also realized that I don't have to get it delivered to my brother's house. I can get it delivered to stores around here and go pick it up, or like other Amazon lockers and shit. So I, one of the major upsides is now I can just anything I want I can get off of Amazon. Before, when I was living in my car, I had to get what I could get locally around here, which is the pickings are slim. You know what I mean? When you got Amazon, you got you can buy things from Japan. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. It gave me the opportunity to completely redo my build. Now, the first time I built my car out, I was doing it as I was living in it and mostly working the whole time. So I would have to work and do Uber Eats, and then after work, I'd have to on the side be working on my car. Although in the beginning, I had the unemployment from the COVID thing coming through, so I was able to work on my car for a little while. But basically, it this gave me the opportunity to completely redo it and completely fix every little mistake I made in the last one. Now, wait till y'all see my build. The next video is probably gonna be, I'll do a walkthrough and show y'all how I did everything. My build is fucking badass. You're gonna be like, anyone could live in this Honda CRV the way I've set it up. I've got um, people were asking me on Instagram how I handle the heat in Florida. I'll explain that when I show y'all, when I do the walkthrough of my build. I'll show y'all how I deal with the heat and everything. But mainly, I'm glad this whole thing happened because, first of all, I got that ticket reversed. I was thinking, I'm fucked, and my car's totaled, and they're not even going to pay, I'm going to have to just start from scratch. Anyways, what ended up happening was I got the ticket overturned. The mechanic fixed my car, and I ended up in the whole situation because I've got to deal with the insurance and see if they're going to pay for my car because they told me when I was talking to them with when the wreck happened, I was like, look, this isn't my fault and I'm going to court over it. So if I get this ticket overturned, are you guys going to fix my car? They said, yes. I said, what if it happens 5 years from now? They said, it doesn't matter. There's no time limit on it. If you get that ticket overturned, we're going to pay for your car. So that's the next thing I got to do. I've been building my car out this whole time. So, everything happens for a reason. I'm glad this all happened. It wasn't even a loss for me. It's probably going to end up being a win. And it just goes to show you whatever happens in your life, don't panic. Don't think, oh, why me? What did I do to deserve this, this, and that? Think to yourself, how is this going to work to my advantage? Because it's probably going to, as long as your kind of karma is kind of straightened out and you're not out here doing too much evil and shit, it should, whatever happens, it should end up working to your advantage, honestly. That's how it is with me. Every disaster that's ever happened for me, it led to some hard times, sure. But when all's said and done, it ended up being a blessing in disguise, just like my car getting wrecked. My car is now fixed. The insurance is probably going to pay for a new one. And I got to completely rebuild my shit and make it fucking 10 times better than it was. Wait till y'all see my build out. It's so clean and it's so perfect. It's so badass. Here comes Matt. This dude's hilarious. Oh, he's not coming over. I would have introduced y'all to Matt. He is a fucking character, man. He comes over. He got this new bike that he came over here with the other day. He's like, man, I got to change the seat. This thing's eating the asshole off of me. Matt's from St. Pete, just straight like Florida white boy, like fucking hilarious. He knows how to fix everything. He's out here fixing blowers and fucking lawnmowers and cars, that type of dude. Anyways, yeah, so when all's said and done, oh, and now I've got the ability to cook with an air fryer back here. Like, it just ended up working out great for me. My insurance didn't even go up. Everything worked out fine. Everything worked out better. And so, whatever happens in your life, don't panic. Deal with it, whatever it is, and realize that when all's said and done, Matt's driving out of here with this big ass truck. That truck is like a building on wheels. So, it's everything happens for a reason. Make the best of it, and realize that no storm lasts forever. Believe me, I was getting kind of depressed back there, living in this filthy, disgusting, dirty trailer filled with wildlife, and it leaks when it rains. And man, I was like, how the fuck did I end up here? But I tell you what, now that my car's rebuilt, I'm staying in here. It's all neat and clean. And wait till y'all see my build. Everything, it's beautiful. You can see a little bit back there. I mean, look how pretty. Even what you can see from where you're at is just that my shit. It's a beautiful build. Wait till I show y'all. But everything worked out, and I couldn't be happier right now. And I'm glad it got wrecked because had I continued on the way it was, it just life wouldn't have brought me to this point where I've got this brand new, super clean build. like the other thing is I've had this mechanic shop to sit here and take my time and meticulously build out this thing from the fucking ground up, every inch of it. You know, I couldn't do that in a parking lot. So thank God for the mechanic and his shop for me to sit here and work on my car and just take my time and meticulously build this motherfucker out. And, you know, I got to help the mechanic out once in a while, but that ain't no issue for me. I don't mind helping out around here. And to have this awesome, peaceful place to work and get my shit done and take my time and do everything perfectly. Like, if I got to redo something 5 times, I'll fucking redo it 5 times. I'm making it right. You know what I mean? If I'm living in a parking lot, I can't do it like that. I gotta fucking throw shit up real quick. And so my build, it's almost the same as it was. It's just all the little fucked up parts of it are eliminated. All the little mistakes are dealt with. It's all like, it's fucking perfect now. I couldn't be happier. And I got like all this cool shit off of Amazon that I'll show y'all everything I got. And, you know, I just couldn't be happier. And so, mechanic's rolling up right now. You'll see him back there. Can you see him? You get a quick glimpse of him, the infamous mechanic. So, I guess that's the end of this one. Appreciate every single one of y'all. My shit's built out now, so I should be back on YouTube pretty regularly. Should be able to devote all my time, effort, and energy into my YouTube channels and my Patreon. Thanks especially to the Patreon. I y'all been with me since day one. I could, you know, can't even put my appreciation into words. Chop rolling up. What's this? Yeah, it's Clearwater Police. Um, but yeah, man, appreciate y'all. The new Patreon video is gonna go up tomorrow. We're doing a new series on there now. Uh, it's about the Illuminati. Last one was about Ra. Um, so we're gonna take a break from Ra. We're gonna do the Illuminati thing. Then we're gonna go back to Ra, finish out Ra, and then we'll see what we're gonna do from there. But I appreciate y'all. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the patience. Thanks for the tips. Every once in a while, people throw me tips on Venmo, Cashapp, PayPal. I see it. I appreciate y'all. Anything else I want to say? Oh, if you want a response to your comment, try to get it within the first 30. And I guess that's the end of this video. The next one, I'm going to probably show y'all my build out. And then I'll start doing some new content about how I cook back here and how I live back here, and we'll travel around the fucking country and see what's up. So appreciate every single one of y'all, and I'll see you either back here on my other YouTube channel, which I'm doing a video game playthrough on there right now, Red Dead Redemption, which I haven't put up a video in like a month. New one's coming soon. Appreciate y'all, and you know, I'll see the Patreons tomorrow on tomorrow's video. So appreciate y'all. Everybody have a good one.